Coming up in today's show, alternative energy is booming business. The city's first electric car charging stations open for business. The big announcement, Tesla Motors is on its way to Northern Nevada. A new factory means lots of jobs and new neighbors moving in. And also in this show, get to know your city manager. A behind-the-scenes meet and greet takes you to City Hall. Hello and welcome to Spotlight on Sparks. I'm your host, Adam Mayberry. We've got a packed half hour, so let's dive right into Spotlight. For most citizens, their house is their most important investment. That means it's easy to be irritated when the folks down the street park a broken car permanently, or when that one house has a garage sale every weekend. Is that even legal? Well, what can you do about neighborhood eyesores like visible junk or graffiti? The answer to such irritations is the City of Sparks code enforcement. The City Council is taking action to protect your property values. The Sparks City Council recently passed amendments toughening city ordinances that protect property values and preserve neighborhoods. The changes to code enforcement create a new property preservation section and new, stricter standards for RV storage and landscaping.
Well, you know, the council directed us way back in October of 2013 to get started on this and to look at a new property preservation code. And it's a watered down version of most codes out in the country. We're not trying to put hardships on anybody. We're trying to help the people that need help and the communities at the same time.
The code amendments are designed to protect the integrity of Sparks neighborhoods. City staff have reached out to Sparks citizens, getting extensive public input. At one workshop, 150 people participated. The result? Stricter standards.
So our new property preservation code is going to allow people to put down different kind of vegetation, ground cover, stuff like that. We've got a lot of different tools that we're going to be able to let them use to bring them into compliance.
Code enforcement covers where property owners can build structures and land use restrictions. It requires owners to keep properties reasonably free of weeds, junk, and debris. It restricts garage sales to twice a year, limits disabled vehicles, lawn and RV parking, and illegal dumping.
The big key on this is we want to educate everybody before we go out and start really applying this to the whole city as a directive from council. So we will be doing different educational segments to try to help people to understand this.
The new code enforcement amendments give the city more authority to enforce rules and protect both property and neighborhoods from blight.
We are going to turn around and not do proactive on our enforcement. It will still be on complaint basis only. And then that way we'll also be able to help the people so they don't feel like they're just being bombarded and they're immediately in violation with the code.
To learn more about code enforcement or to report a problem, please call your local agency at the number on your screen. You know, I remember when George Jetson had the coolest car in town. It floated on air and it took no gas. Well, today, whether you're driving a Tesla or another electric vehicle, the City of Sparks now has electric vehicle stations opened right here in the parking lot. Tesla Motors picked Northern Nevada as the site of its new $5 billion battery factory. 5 states wanted the Gigafactory. Governor Rick Perry of Texas and Governor Jerry Brown of California each gave it their best sales pitch. But in the end, it was Nevada's Governor Brian Sandoval scoring the big economic win. The highly sought-after factory project was pursued with tax incentives in order to gain a projected 6,500 jobs an estimated 16,000 spin-off jobs, and a $100 billion economic impact over 20 years. That all adds up to a 20% boost to the Reno-Sparks economy. That's according to the Governor's Office for Economic Development. The city of Sparks is the closest metropolitan area to the Tesla site, located 13 miles west of the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center. Tesla CEO Elon Musk cited speed of permitting and the agility of the state and local officials as the primary reasons for selecting Nevada. Musk also factored in the proximity to Tesla's Northern California vehicle plant, proximity to Lake Tahoe and Nevada's renewable energy portfolio. The factory project is the biggest prize yet in EDON and Governor Sandoval's economic diversification efforts. Just a week earlier, another announcement of another tech company moving to northern Nevada, bringing up to 400 jobs. Ashima Devices, a manufacturer of unmanned aerial devices. With Apple and Microsoft already here, northern Nevada is becoming a big player in the high-tech development. So what does all this mean? Some things are predictable. Lots of visitors will tour or have business at the factory. The airport will get busier. Roadway improvements will support the traffic demands. The governor has already called to speed up road work on the Southeast Connector. Hotels and restaurants will start up businesses close to the Tesla factory. City of Sparks leaders point out the benefits to education. Tesla has agreed to donate $47 million to Nevada schools over the next 5 years. Sparks City manager says the arrival of the new factory also spotlights northern Nevada as pro-business.
Tesla brings a very interesting challenge and wonderful opportunities for the whole valley and especially the city of Sparks. We're the closest metropolitan municipal area to the location of Tesla's new gigaplant. It's going to be very incumbent upon us to be ready to move, to be agile in meeting the needs of the various businesses that will pop up because of Tesla and Tesla themselves. There's going to be over 6,500 jobs over the next 4 to 5 years. We need to be able to be ready to bring those people into our neighborhoods, meeting the goal and objectives of our strategic plan to have those to be the city of choice.
Located in the main parking lot of City Hall, a 4-space charging station is available for use by anyone at any time. The 2 dual-port units are 208 volts. The 4 charging units in Sparks adds to the several existing charging stations in the Truckee Meadows. The Sparks charging stations play a role in reducing carbon pollution while keeping our city current with new technology. The new infrastructure was purchased and installed as part of a comprehensive electrical upgrade at the Sparks City Hall. Location of the charging stations and timing with other City Hall electrical projects made the project by Briggs Electric cost less than expected. To use the car charging stations in Sparks or numerous others nationwide, just register with ChargePoint.com. From high tech for adults, let's move to new tech for kids. The newest city playground project brings the tech your kids want to play with into the great outdoors. But this is no ordinary gaming console. This one belongs in a park. It's designed to get the players' bodies moving and the hearts pounding in competition. Even amusing Councilman Ron Schmidt. So your kids just want a game. Do they need encouragement to play at the park? Well, help is here. Check out what's new at Recreation Park on Richards Way. A new electronic play system, the Neos 360, is tempting gamers of all ages and abilities to play in the park. Each of the 8 available games is available in 1 or 2 player mode. The games combine the speed of excitement in electronic games with the explosive movements of aerobic exercise. Neos 360, players say, is 360 degrees of head-spinning, body-twisting, heart-pounding competitive fun.
It combines both cognitive and physical ability, agility, spatial awareness. It's ADA accessible, so we love the fact that it's for all ages and all abilities.
Playing delivers a workout comparable to jogging or playing soccer, raising heart rates by an average of 20%. Stephen Driscoll has the helm as the newest city manager appointed in early 2014. So where will he take us, and what does he want to get done around the city? He invited you, our viewers, to sit down and talk. So let's go to City Hall for a peek at projects and policies Mr. Driscoll sponsors for our city's future.
Well, I think I'm very fortunate in being appointed city manager at this time. We've gone through some really difficult times in the last 10 years, and there's been a lot that has gone on. We've gone from a lot of growth to the Great Recession, and now we're just eking our way back out, and we're basically stable. And so fortunately, taking on this new job, it's not because something's broken. There's no mandate for a huge amount of change. We can continue to do the organized change that we've been working on the last several years. So I think at this point, it's important to have a sustainable budget, to have our employees being paid fairly for the work that they're doing, and provide them the resources that they need to do their job, because that's not been the case in the last few years. They've had to figure out how to do more with less, and now try to give them the tools that they need so that we can meet the strategic goals of the council. Certainly the city's had a strategic plan for a long time, and we've been working it through, and it was time for kind of an update and to take a hard look at, are we on the right track? Are we meeting the goals and objectives of the council? And so with this management transition, it was a logical time to take a hard look at the details and to really look at, are we meeting the goals and objectives? Is there a better way to meet the goals and objectives? And as we come out of the Great Recession, what is it we need to be really thinking about for the next 7 to 10 years? So we've spent a lot of time with the senior management team and the mid-management team, and we've really gone through it with a fine-tooth comb, taking a hard look at what do we need to be doing 5 years from now for the city to be successful with what we know today is coming through, both with technology, development, the jobs market, economic redevelopment, all the things that our city is dealing with. We want it to be a city of choice. We want the people to want to live in the city of Sparks. We want them to have safe neighborhoods. We want the businesses to come here because it's the city that they choose to have their business in. So it's about meeting our vision of being the city of choice. In addition to that, economic development has been a very large component. We need to be in the position to be agile and to be able to bring in the businesses and to house the people in where they would like to live, to be able to do what they would like to do. We're well positioned to do that. We have a lot of housing lots ready to go. We can put a house up on them tomorrow that meet the demographic we're being told that the workers that'll be hired in the last 4 years will want to live in. We also have executive housing available for the management team. So we feel real comfortable being the closest municipal city, if you will, that we want to be the city of choice, and we're prepared to be the city of choice for Tesla and all the other businesses that will come in with them.
We hope it's never your house on fire in the middle of the night when the alarms ring, but it is someone's. And in that moment, someone's life and property are in real danger. The City of Sparks firefighters continuously train to be prepared for such emergencies. The recent training was exceptionally real, thanks to the donation of a house scheduled for demolition. The department wanted to give as many crews as possible the opportunity to train, not in a simulator, not on a tabletop, but in a real house. Silver Sage Manor, a nonprofit that will eventually develop the site, generously donated the structure to the fire department. For a week, crews practiced a variety of firefighting tasks focused on a single engine company response to a structural fire.
Anyway, what we've been able to do is we've had training on Monday, Tuesday, and today, Thursday, 3 days. 7 companies per day have been able to go through it. So by the time we're done today, we will have gotten the entire department through this training. And so we're doing 3 evolutions here today. The first one is a simulated structure fire with a known rescue. And the engines will respond to it just as if they've been dispatched to, actually they are dispatched to a report of smoke in the area. They pull up on scene, the captain does a size up, makes his report, and what we're looking for is them to make a very quick transitional attack where they're
Adding even further to the realism, there's a victim escalating this to a rescue drill.
So that's the first evolution, and they're doing that in the old ranch house here. The second one, we're working on some topside ventilation, and the crews are laddering the garage, which is over here, and then they'll go up with chainsaws and they're cutting ventilation holes through the roof and then punching the ceiling out. And what we're trying to emphasize there is we don't do rooftop operations that often, so this is really good training for them, getting comfortable on the ladders and the saws, and we're emphasizing communications with the guys on the ground and the interior crews, so it's a coordinated effort. And then the very last thing they're doing is we're cutting some chain link fence here because we don't get the opportunity to do that too often. That's what the engine companies are doing. Then when we get the truck company here, we're going to have them do some ventilation holes on the roof of the ranch house here, and they'll be doing that from the aerial itself rather than using ground ladders. And then we'll sit down and do a debrief, and we'll cover the things that went right and the things that maybe didn't go quite so right. Because the whole idea here is we'd rather have guys make mistakes here when we're training rather than at 3 o'clock in the morning when they're on a rail call. We can go up to the training center and train up there, but the problem with it is, number one, it's outside of the city limits. So if we're up there training and we get a call, it's 20 or 25 minutes back into town. Where this way, if we get an actual call and we need to break the crews loose, they're already here in town. The other problem with that up there is it's a static building, and most of the guys have been through it multiple times, so they know the layout. Where this, they're going into it for the first time. There's no memory helping them out here, so it's just like it would be responding to a real call.
I mean, you can see here all the obstacles. When we pulled up scene, we want to get to the front door, but there's a chain link fence, so we have to adjust. Where the training tower, it's all just a parking lot in the training tower, and so all those little tasks that you have to overcome and prioritize as you go through, this is real life.
The property was originally part of Denevy Ranch. Eventually, senior housing will be built on the 4th Street site. The annual Best in the West Nugget Rib Cook-Off has grown into the largest annual event of its kind in the nation. How big? This big. 500,000 visitors eat ribs for 6 days, some 250,000 pounds of ribs served, 24 top barbecue cooks from around the country. This event is huge. Really, I'm not ribbing you. It's lip-smacking, finger-licking good.
Happiness is barbecue pork with sauce, just like this.
Wish you had some? You're not alone. 500,000 people visit Sparks Victorian Square for the annual event. The championship barbecue event draws diners and cooks alike from all over the country.
Oh, give me some down, you're all right, man.
This is the first we've had yet, so I don't want to say anything yet, but this is very good. Very, very good.
Is it going to be hard on the judges to pick a winner?
Probably, yes.
Ask the diners, and they'll tell you that they're the real winners at this event. Most people say they'll return year after year for this event. Another thing that's big here, the host city's responsibilities. Porta potties and hand washing stations line side streets. Traffic controls protect people at Victorian Square. And medical staff stand by. Police officers watch the crowds and keep the peace.
You see them, but they're not obtrusive. They're there to help, and the amount of incidents for the number of people we have on here, next to nil. It's truly amazing, and it's a testament to the City of Sparks and the police department, the job they do out here. And obviously, we couldn't do it without them. It's too big for just the Nugget to handle, and the cooperation is fantastic.
We asked a good officer what's good to eat.
I don't know if I have a favorite. I've been eating at the Rib Village every night, so I just kind of take a little bit of everything, but it's been good.
This guy thinks he's got the best ribs here.
Hey, we're gonna win this thing. Back 40, best barbecue ever. Okay, come see us down here.
And while you're too covered in barbecue to touch anything electronic, check out the awesome bands. Here's highlights of Jefferson Starship's free concert. No matter how good the music, it can't upstage the real draw. Really awesome ribs. It's a rib competition more than a quarter of a century old, where the diners win every time. We return now to our behind-the-scenes visit with the Sparks City Manager. You're invited to a one-on-one in the most important office in City Hall.
The largest challenge the city will have over the next couple of years is the cost to provide services. The labor costs, the cost to run the equipment that it takes for us to make the streets good, to have the parks look nice. All of those increase. Gas prices go up, the cost to solve on. People costs constantly are rising from that standpoint. The demand for services is going to continue to be more than our ability to fund. So we have to be more efficient, more effective in providing the service that we provide. We've got to be very careful to provide the primary services, and maybe some of the nice twos we may have to continue to back off like we have for the last several years. So from our standpoint, as we're sustaining our budget, we're evaluating the services we provide and the efficiencies in which we provide them, it's going to be very critical for us to work with the future in mind. Really focusing on being the city of choice. Why would people want to be here? What are the quality of life components that are so critical to this influx to our population to have them live in the city of Sparks? Well, I'm very fortunate to have been appointed as city manager in the city of Sparks because I live here. That's not usual in my profession. I'm very fortunate because I'm a lifelong Nevadan. I was born in Hawthorne in the rurals, and I've lived here my whole life. I went to high school here, I went to college here, I was married here, raised my family here. My wife is a third-generation Sparks resident. My kids are very pleased with the fact that they're native Nevadans as well. So I feel very, very blessed that I get to do this, and I get to lead the city, and I get to help the council, and I get to serve the citizens of the community into making their city what they want it to be for the next 5 to 10 years, and hopefully set the foundation for 20 to 30 years from now. Well, I'm very fortunate that being raised here, that I was able to go to the University of Nevada. I chose to be a business major, and at the time that I was going, business was one of the strongest and continues to be one of the strongest colleges on campus. I got my degree in accounting with some emphasis in financial management, and I've really used that in my career, and especially since I've been with the city for the last 20 years. A lot of the work that we've done for fiscal planning and budget work and strategic planning have been very critical with my background in financial accounting. I also, a few years ago, went back and got my master's in business administration from the University of Phoenix. One, because I chose Phoenix because it satisfied my need to be able to work full-time and to get my education. I also wanted to go back and dust off my toolbox. It was very important for me to be on the leading edge of what was going on.
One of the longest serving city council members is about to retire. Councilmember Mike Kerrigan was first elected to the Sparks City Council in 1999, and over the decades, he's watched the city he loves grow and change.
Some families are, I guess the tradition is to be a firefighters. Some are policemen, some are engineers. I guess the Kerrigan family, we've always been public servants. I've been on the city council. Before that, I was in the military. My wife, Cora, is a school teacher. My oldest daughter, Ashley, is the state director for Senator Dean Heller, so she runs the state office. And then my youngest daughter is an officer in the United States Navy. So I guess it's just in our family to serve the public. It's very satisfying to do that.
If you were to hang your hat on 2 or 3 real key items since you've been on the city council that you're proud of the most, what would those be?
There's things we do every day that, people don't realize, and it's like, oh, we widened Vista to 4 lanes. I mean, that sounds really trite, but people out here that lived out here thought that was the greatest thing. And it took 9 years. I mean, that's how slow the wheels of government work, but it took 9 years of me really chipping in people's ears to go, hey, we need that widening out there. And finally, after 9 years of talking to the RTC, we finally got it done. This is a great facility out here. So, I mean, buying the water company, I think, was the best thing that we've ever done, because now our fate's in our own hands, and the citizens and the owners of that. We're all owners of the water company, and we're calling our own shots. And to me, what really sells this town are the people that live here. And everybody that I've talked to that lives in Sparks really likes it here, and they wouldn't live anywhere else.
Mr. Mayor, are you ready to take the oath?
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me.
I, Gino Martini,
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
protect and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and the Constitution and government of the State of Nevada against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Raise your right hands. Repeat after me. I,
Ed Lawson, Charlene Bybee,
do solemnly swear that I will support, protect and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and the State of Nevada. I,
Barbara McCarthy,
do solemnly swear that I will support, protect and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and the State of Nevada against all.
Time to go, and thanks for watching Spotlight on Sparks. I'm Adam Mayberry. We invite you to stay in touch with the City of Sparks through our website, cityofsparks.us, Twitter, or Facebook.